Hiya. Hope you're well. As always, I'm going to talk about a new album today. I know I don't normally talk about new stuff. I usually talk about older stuff, but not today. Today, I'm going to talk about the new Beth Gibbons album, Lives Outgrown. This album's been out for about a week or so, and I really enjoy this album. I've been listening to it a lot. It's really been growing on me. It's one of those records that sounds excellent right from the start, but you don't feel like you've heard it enough. Like you need to hear it multiple times to get all of the little nuances and all of the little intricacies out and enjoy the whole experience. And this album is absolutely one of those experiences. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. And Beth Gibbons doesn't put stuff out very often. She's elusive. She doesn't release a lot of solo stuff. Portishead is missing. Where is Portishead gone? It's been what, 16 years since Third came out? I think it was 2008 that album came out. So it's been a while. What a brilliant album that was. How cool would it be if Portishead got back together? But that doesn't seem like it's in the cards anytime soon. Beth Gibbons and Jeff Barrow, come on, man. Get together just one more time. Would it kill you? Just one more time? Maybe it would. Maybe that's asking a lot. But in the meantime, we have an excellent Beth Gibbons solo album. I love this album, Lives Outgrown. I think it's really good. Her last solo album came out, I don't know, like over 2 decades ago. Was it late 90s, mid 90s, I can't remember. It's been over 20 years. I'm pretty positive with that. It's been within 20 to 30 years, okay, since the last Beth Gibbons solo album. So it's been a while. She doesn't come out very often with stuff. But Lives Outgrown is an excellent record. I have been listening to it pretty much on repeat for the past week. And what I like about it is that she is totally unique. Nobody sounds like her, nobody writes lyrics like her, and she is a very relatable singer. When she sings about things, she sings about love and loss and pain and all those things that most singers sing about. But this is a woman who's got experience. Like when you hear her voice, it's almost like an old war-torn door creaking open. You can hear the creak in her voice. Years of experience and years of pain and pleasure and all the things that chisel human beings into what we are today. Beth Gibbons has all of that, and she's unafraid to confront it. And I always appreciate that with artists who aren't afraid to go to uncomfortable places to share their stories in musical form. And Beth Gibbons does that really well on Lives Outgrown. I'm really loving this album. It's, I hate to make this comparison because it's not entirely accurate. I understand that. But when I hear her voice and the way it's delivered, and even some of the affectations and fluctuations with her voice, sometimes, and I mean this in the best possible way, sometimes I get flutters of Joni Mitchell. Again, I'm not making just like a full-on comparison, but the flutterings are there. Sometimes with what she does with her voice and just like the way she's willing to kind of open up. She's like an open nerve sometimes when she sings, and sometimes her more folky stuff sounds like Joni Mitchell. And I mean that in the greatest possible way. I love Joni Mitchell. She's one of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. So when I listen to Beth Gibbons, some of her stuff kind of reminds me of that. Again, that's a good thing. This album kind of it covers all kinds of different genres. You get folk, you get rock, of course, but you get some flutes and you get some more electronic patterns, and there's all kinds of stuff going on with this album. And that's what I really love about it. It's hard to pin down and it's hard to predict. And that's how I felt about Beth Gibbons' other solo album that she did. I felt like it was hard to pin down, and I really love that about an artist. You're going into a record thinking you know you're going to hear something that you're familiar with, and you do. You hear her voice, but then she takes you down this other path that you weren't prepared for. And that's how I feel like Lives Outgrown is. From one song to the next, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get, and I still feel that way because it's a new album. I'm still experiencing it, and that's awesome to listen. I think I've listened to it 4 or 5 times already, and I'm still kind of discovering things. So I can't wait to keep listening to this album. I'm really enjoying it. It's one of my favorite records of the year, quite frankly. And I wanted to talk about it and share it with you. And if you haven't listened to it yet, check it out. Lives Outgrown. It's easy to find. It just came out. It's a new album. Find it and listen to it. My favorite songs, I would have to say, there were a couple of songs that reminded me of Portishead a little bit with the drum patterns. There are a couple songs that kind of flirt with more electronic drum patterns, and those songs were called Reaching Out, right? Reaching Out was one of them. Very, very Portishead-like in terms of third, because I think all three Portishead albums sound very different from each other. Third was very much based in krautrock and just noise, even industrial. Third is a brilliant fucking album. One of my favorite albums. Over the years, that was one of those records that really just caught my attention right off the bat the first time I heard it, and it's only gathered steam over the past, 16 years or however long it's been. Third is a beautiful piece of work. Love that record. Reaching Out on the new album, Lives Outgrown, kind of reminded me a little bit of that era, of the third era, and the other song was Beyond the Sun on the new album that kind of reminded me of that later Portishead period. Again, it makes me really long for Barrow and Gibbons to get back together. Maybe it'll happen again. I don't know. I certainly hope so. But Beth Gibbons is crushing it on this new album. She's proving that she doesn't necessarily need Jeff Barrow to be interesting. And the last song on the album, I think it was called Whispering Love. Whispering Love. Whispering Love. Yes. Beautiful song. Very, just a quiet, very introspective, inward song. Like Gibbons is really wrestling with stuff, I feel, on this record. And Whispering Love, it sounds like she's getting some stuff out on the table and coming to terms with things in her life when it comes to maybe her relationships. I don't know. I hate trying to critique lyrics. It's unfair. I don't know what these people are going through personally, so I think it takes a lot of balls for these artists to put all of their feelings out in a record and publish them for the world to listen to. Takes a lot for an artist to share those things, and I feel like Gibbons is sharing a lot. So I don't want to critique the lyrics too much. Her lyrics are fantastic. I don't normally like lovey-dovey lyrics, but Beth Gibbons writes lovey-dovey lyrics in a very interesting and fresh way. Again, she's a raw nerve when she sings. You can feel a lot of pain and frustration and love and inspiration and all those things working together in this burbling pot of artistic expression. She's really good at that. And Lives Outgrown is an excellent example of why Gibbons is a really top-notch songwriter. I highly recommend you guys check this woman out. Her music is fantastic. And in a current climate where people are creaming their pants over mediocrities like Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift and all that kind of shit, you've got Beth Gibbons, a real woman who has real world experiences, and she's willing to share those with us. We should celebrate her for this and celebrate this album. Beth Gibbons, Lives Outgrown. Any Portishead fan, you've already picked this up and you've already listened to it. But if you haven't, and you find you've never been a Portishead fan, and you might not even know who Beth Gibbons is, check this album out. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. I can't talk today, but Beth Gibbons can talk, and she can sing, and you should check her out. Lives Outgrown. It's an excellent new album. Listen, enjoy, love. Goodbye.